this case. He has suggested that racism is the foundation of the police department, of our justice system, and only these jurors are capable of fixing everything that has been going on in history. This man is sick.
Look at this awkward occurrence or awkward entertainment. I'm gonna go straight. Well, let me play this video first. I'm gonna play this video. Let's play some of this video. Let me enlarge it. Let's see. Alrighty.
Oh, the rumors have gotten so bad. I pretty much have been told at least 10 different ways that these people have these conspiracy theories. I guess they watch a lot of law shows and maybe they have all these theories on how Gannon is dead. And that's what they're saying. So I'm like, why are you saying Gannon is dead? He is not dead. We are going to find Gannon. And that's the main goal that we all have, my family has. Just because you haven't seen us, we have that same goal, and we've been out searching. My aunt has been out searching. My family has been out searching. We all have been doing that together so that we can protect each other.
How does it feel?
It's like that. And when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband. We just wanted to add a message to Gannon from my family, is that we love you and miss you. And we hope that you come home soon. And Gannon, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay. We love you.
Okay. She should have stuck to the story we're about to read in this news article. Because nothing in that video says anything in the news article. Now let's stream on over. Yeah, we got it already. 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 Let's go to affidavit. Let's start with that one. Yeah, investigators believe he was killed on the same day he was reported missing. Let's see how they think he was killed. And a sealed affidavit for murder suspect Letecia has been leaked on social media Thursday night. And they confirmed the authenticity with El Paso County Sheriff's Office. And you can skim through it. Stauch was arrested March 2nd for the murder of 11-year-old Gannon Stauch. His remains were found on March 18th in Florida. They still don't know how she got to Florida. We don't know if they had the murder weapons or not. Let's just get to this. Let's get to the main point of this. According to the 32-page affidavit 3-2, investigators believe Gannon was killed in his bedroom on the afternoon of January 27th. Investigators found blood evidence on Gannon's mattress, carpets, and wall. Okay, this contradicts what Robert Drayton, the neighbor said. The neighbor said Gannon left at 10 in the morning with Letecia, and he never came back. Robert Drayton did another interview. He repeated the same statement. Gannon never came back. Roger Drayton did a third interview. He repeated the same statement. Gannon was on video leaving at 10:15, and he never came back. But somehow they believe he was killed on the afternoon of January 27th. And let's see how he was killed. How they believe he was killed when he never came home. Again, blood evidence on the mattress could be from the nosebleed. On the carpet could be from the nosebleed. On the walls, it could be from the nosebleed. Maybe he touched his hands with the wall when his nose was bleeding. I mean, it is his room. Okay, the affidavit states Letecia drove Gannon's body to an area off Highway 105. So they saying she first, after she killed him that afternoon, but they believe she killed him 2, 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon. Well, before she made that call to police. That same afternoon, they believe she drove the body to Douglas County. Yeah, that's the 2x4. Later, they found blood on a particle board, a 2x4, located in that area. Of course, the excuse is Gannon's nosebleeds. Blood was also found in Letecia's car, the nosebleeds. And no, it doesn't explain how Gannon's body was moved to Florida because the affidavit was written up before Gannon was found in Florida. So they don't know how she was found or he was found in Florida. He did not attend school January 27. Her stepfather was killed after being hit by a car. And she defended her innocence, but she never stated things she's about to state. She never stated anything she's about to state. Letecia's 17-year-old daughter refused to speak with investigators. Well, she didn't refuse because she's a witness. She's down as a witness, so she didn't refuse to speak. Okay, buy carpet cleaner for the nosebleed, buy trash bags and baking soda. Yeah, right. Do they have? Yeah, I don't think they have video of her dumping any of that. All right, let's go to another article. It gets into more detail. But they believe he, again, killed him that afternoon. So the neighbor's statement was false, apparently, or not false. This is going to bring doubt that she actually committed the crime because the neighbor's statement contradicts what the affidavit says. But they never found the body on Douglas County. Okay, images found on Letecia's phone reportedly show Gannon sleeping in his bed on January 27th. Investigators believe he was killed that afternoon. It appears to show two people leaving the residence in the pickup truck the morning of the 27th. And the same footage shows the pickup truck returning that afternoon. And while the footage only clearly shows one person get out the truck, investigators believe Gannon likely did return home to Letecia that afternoon. No indications of blood was found inside the Nissan. Additionally, the affidavit states Letecia asked her, Okay, here go the interesting part. In a January 29th interview, so this was 2 days after, she reportedly said she had been raped by a man named Eduardo who kidnapped Gannon. Now, you remember that sugar daddy website everybody was bashing Letecia over? Letecia was on a sugar daddy website. And a lot of people named Eduardo Hispanics probably troll sugar daddy websites looking for women. So how do you not know that some sugar daddy actually didn't rape her and then kidnap the boy? Letecia reportedly said she had been raped by a man named Eduardo, who then kidnapped Gannon. Investigators were suspicious of the story for a number of reasons, including the fact that Letecia did not immediately call 911 after the alleged rape and kidnapping. She also did not want to pursue collecting evidence that could lead to the arrest of her alleged rapist. Gannon's father was in Oklahoma when the boy went missing. At the time of Gannon's disappearance, Letecia told authorities Gannon had left home to play at a friend's house and had not been seen since. According to the affidavit, she was unable to tell investigators where the house was located or the name of Gannon's friend. First, they called him a runaway. Okay. Let's go back up. So I would say, I would say his body got to Florida because this alleged character named Eduardo took his body to Florida. I would say Letecia was on these sugar daddy websites, and she invited a man over, and this strange man had no good intentions with her, raped her, took Gannon, killed Gannon, and delivered his body in Florida some weeks later. Okay, why Letecia didn't call the police and why she didn't report the rape? Maybe she was in fear of Gannon's life, and she didn't say nothing about Gannon being kidnapped because she was hoping Mr. Aguado will return Gannon home. So that's why she didn't report the rape, in fear of Gannon's life. Okay, let's get on. Letecia killed her stepson. This is another article on repeat lie to authorities. But how can you kill your stepson on the afternoon, but then you see video and you have eyewitness statement that says he never came home with her? There's another article saying they found blood inside one of her Volkswagen car. Again, that can be from nosebleeds. But the alleged pickup truck, they say Gannon left in with her that morning. Found no traces of blood in it at all. So it's kind of mysterious. It's kind of fishy that she would kill him on the afternoon in his bedroom. So they believe she shot him in the bedroom, then she stabbed him, then she hit him with a 2x4. Then she took his body to Douglas County, and she dumped the body, dumped the 2x4 along with a sock. Then later on, before she left Colorado, she left Colorado the day she did that interview. So on the 30th, she left Colorado. When did she have time to pick up the body? So they're saying she went and picked up the body, and then she delivered it to Florida on her way to South Carolina or after she got to South Carolina. Okay, the part about the bedroom and he being killed that afternoon doesn't match up with the statements from the neighbors. It doesn't match up with anything. Now, Roger Drayton said when he gave the police the video of Letecia getting into the truck with Gannon, police said that was the evidence they needed. Now, how was that the evidence they needed if he never came home to be killed in the afternoon? Now, this is going to be good for Letecia's defense. This is going to be good for Letecia's defense because everything that's now coming out contradicts what was being said in the first place. Probable cause. I still don't understand how they arrested her, and if he never came home. But you believe he came home, but you don't believe he came home. You believe she killed him that afternoon, but you believe she took him in a truck and never came home. Okay. The affidavit, Alicia, yeah, we went through this. Again, they're going to part about evidence of blood was also found inside Letecia's VW SUV, Volkswagen SUV, or Tiguan SUV. On the evening, so after she stabbed him, shot him, and beat him with a 2x4 in the house, inside his bedroom, she somehow is on camera putting his body in a truck. So does Roger Drayton have her moving his body on camera? Okay, the images show Gannon sleeping in his bed the morning of January 27th. They believe, they don't know though, they believe. It's a difference between believing and knowing in this case. Investigators again believe Gannon likely did return home with Letecia that afternoon. You see how they had everybody trying to figure out, oh, did he get outside? The truck on the other side? Oh, is that a shadow? Is that a shadow? That must be a shadow. Oh, look at the top of the truck. That looks like a person. Oh, get real. Get real. Let's keep going. Yeah, she asked her daughter to buy a carpet cleaner for the nosebleeds. There's really not too much to this. So, there's 32 pages that nobody still has seen. I want to see those other 32 pages. When the Saints, let me see if any new information was released. When the Saints come marching in, how I would love to see that number. When the Saints come marching in. When the Saints come marching. Let's do Crime Online. Here goes Crime Online. Let's see. The connection is acting up. When the Saints come marching in. Gannon Stauch, ouch, 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 ouch. Stepmother kills Colorado boy in bedroom, then claims a Hispanic male abducted him after raping her. The same Hispanic male she could have met on that sugar daddy website. Again, the same Hispanic male she could have met on the sugar daddy website. This freaking live stream. I'm looking at the red dot and it's blinking red and gray and telling me my signal is low. Anyway, so either plunder or dead with a phone is gonna come out with the full 32-page affidavit. I bet plunder somehow, some way will get a hold of the full 32-page affidavit by the end of the day. Y'all could skim through this with me. The navigation of their website sucks, and they can do without the ads. A deceased boy found in Florida. I bet there's a lot of Hispanic people in Florida. I bet. If you look around that part of Florida, Pace, Florida, I bet if you look around where he was dumped, somewhere in the area, in the neighborhood, you'll find a bunch of Hispanics just out there. Now, without the rest of the details from the 32-page affidavit, it's still not guilty. It's still not guilty. All these details saying is they believe. They don't know, but they believe. And then they contradict their own statement when they had witness Roger Drayton get on the news and do multiple interviews saying Gannon never came home. So they contradicted themselves there. So according to the affidavit, I'm just going to keep reading this over and over. So I know people are coming in and joining. So I'm going to keep repeating and looping and looping and looping. According to the affidavit, Letecia brutally shot, stabbed, and hit Gannon with a 2x4 inside his bedroom on January 27th. But on the afternoon of January 27th, she shot, stabbed, hit him with a 2x4. Despite the neighbor's video who claims Gannon didn't come home that afternoon, police believe Gannon likely did return that afternoon and died inside the residence. Evidence from inside Gannon's. So, they don't say they found gunpowder nowhere in the room. They don't say they have a gun or bullets. Again, it's 32, 3 times 2 sets. It's 32 pages. There's still 32 pages missing that we haven't seen. Based on the orientation of Gannon's bed, the vast majority of the blood would be in line with the position of his head and torso. Well, yeah, if you're bleeding from the head, the blood is going to go into your torso and go everywhere else. Especially if you wipe your hands on the wall after you've been bleeding. Let's read this part. If they don't get them freaking ads away from here. The following affidavit submitted to the court for probable cause of arrest. With the victims identified Stauch Gannon, 928, race, white, gender. I believe Gannon's somewhat Hispanic, right? Your affidavit is Jessica Bailiff, sworn. Let's get to the good part. I don't think there's gonna be any. Investigators recovered a significant amount of exterior video footage from individuals, Roger Drayton, privately owned neighborhood security cameras, businesses around Colorado, and cameras in other surrounding areas. Some cameras provided recorded footage. Yeah. There's still no footage of her moving the body. And Roger Drake don't have no footage of her moving the body, does he? I mean, his camera was pointed right at the house. They didn't see her leaving the house with a body. Historical cellular records and That the records don't say she killed anybody. Now I'm reading this. Okay, yeah. Following red Nissan, the black Volkswagen, and the white Volkswagen. Silver Nissan, a rental car obtained by Letecia's aunt. So, Letecia only had the car from January 30th to February 1st. They say Gannon's body was dumped the 3rd through the 5th, about 7 days after he was kidnapped and killed. So there's no way she could have drove to Florida the 2nd through the 3rd, or with that rental. And again, there's another rental she only kept from 28th to the 29th. And this is not getting nothing. I was able to locate prior history, a criminal history for Letecia Stauch. That's just character witness stuff. If you read line A, that's just character witness stuff. That's secure. North Carolina teaching. This is stuff people talked about on YouTube to get views for AdSense. Her teacher license, which is important. Her past criminal history is important to this case. It's just stuff people talked about on YouTube for views. And this doesn't talk about the day of the murder. It's still not talking about the day of the murder. Talking about Al's birthday. The suspect surrounds period. I want to see the details of how they believed it happened. The rest of the details. Let's start with on January 27, 2020, at about 1,855 hours. So 1,855 hours, 13 is 1 plus 5, like 6 o'clock, 6:55. Letecia reported Gannon missing. She was instructed to call El Paso County non-emergency line. So did she have... Well, Roger Drayton doesn't show anybody coming to the house around that time. So around 6:55, does Roger Drayton have video of a man leaving the house or coming to the house and then leaving with Gannon? So she called around 6:55. So they believe she murdered him around what time in the afternoon? Well, at 6, at 5. Like, did she leave the house at 5:55? Did she leave the house at 4:55 to dump her body She came back at 2:15. So did she leave again at 3:15 to dump her body? No video of that. Did she leave at 4:15 to dump her body? No video of that. Did she leave at 5:15 to dump her body? Did she leave at 6:15? Did she leave at 7:15? Did she leave at 18:55 hours to dump her body? No video of that. Did she leave at 19:55 hours to dump her body? And that's getting into the late afternoon. And they believe it was the afternoon. They don't believe it was night when she dumped the body. And again, I believe she didn't tell them she was raped and Gannon was kidnapped in the hopes that the kidnapper will release Gannon. Her story dramatically changed multiple times. And that's going to be the defense for her story changing is hoping Gannon would come home and he would be able to tell the story. But Gannon didn't come home. Somehow Gannon ended up in Florida dead, and they have no idea how she would deliver the body to Florida. As will be discussed below, investigators do not believe Letecia went to any neighbor's house to attempt to locate Gannon. Well, they don't believe, they don't know if it's true. But they don't know if anything is true that they state in the affidavit. They know they found blood, that's it, and a 2x4. So one of the stories was she went to a neighbor's house. They don't believe she did, but they don't have any evidence. She was unable to provide the actual location or the name of Gannon's friends. Yeah, I can read. I'm reading this. So they do have body cam footage of interaction between them and Letecia, which they haven't released. That same interaction they had with Lori Daybell when her husband got shot by her brother Alice Cox. Oh, let's look at this part. As part of this tip line, 2 ransom notes were received by email demanding money in the form of Bitcoin, because you can't trace Bitcoin to anybody, in exchange for Gannon's return. Wow. That lines up to what Letecia said about Gannon being kidnapped by this dude named Ugardo. And people going to say, well, she called in and made those tips. People going to say, well, she called in and said and made those ransom notes herself. Right. Let's see if the ransom notes were made by a male or female. Investigators took steps to validate these ransom notes, including resolving and geolocating the IP address from the email headers. One of the notes was sent from a foreign-based email account that is accessed by multiple individuals. They were unable to trace the IP addresses, and they believe the fraudulent. Like, if she told you Gannon was kidnapped on the 29th, she told you Gannon was kidnapped when you interviewed her. Then a couple of days later, you get ransom. You get 2 ransom notes. Oh my gosh. Then y'all believe the ransom notes were fraudulent and designed as a scheme to receive money. Oh my gosh. So she sent her daughter Harley, not Harley Dilly, Harley Hunt, to look for Gannon at a park. She lied to investigators on multiple occasions. She has unexplained abnormal behavior, such as obtaining a rental car, disconnecting her cell phone from the cellular network for an extended period of time. Well, they don't know if the false reporting on alleged rape, they don't know if she was actually raped or not. They believe she wasn't. They don't know. Abnormal patterns of travel, but they don't have her traveling to Florida. Evolving story with material changes. Can I delete this freaking ad? Okay. The following session will outline what investigators have learned about Letecia's activity on the 27th of January 2020 and outline the period when Gannon was likely murdered. And likely murdered is speculation. This is just speculation for, we want to arrest somebody. We have speculation, and we're going to use this affidavit as probable cause to make a speculative arrest. Some of the information contained in this session will be repeated in other portions of this affidavit. Let's continue to line 25. We are on line 25. Investigators believe that Gannon was murdered by Letecia in the afternoon hours. So approximately around 12, 13. Also, they believe around 2:14 he was murdered. So they believe Gannon left at 10 with her, came home at 2:15. So they believe he was murdered right when he got home in his bedroom. 14 hours is 2:14 in the afternoon. They believe she murdered him around immediately in his bedroom after they returned. They believe she murdered him. And then at 2:14, at 6 o'clock, at 6 o'clock she called the police. So 4 hours after murdering him, she called the police, they believe. So in between 2:15 and 6:55 p.m., did she leave the house? Is there video of Letecia Stauch leaving the house January 27th between 2:15 p.m. and 6:15 p.m. to dump a body in Douglas County? Let's continue to read this, people. More specifically, they believe she murdered him in his bedroom. Physical evidence, which is not really proof. Physical evidence recovered from the residence and inside Gannon's bedroom supports that a violent episode or event occurred in his bedroom, which caused bloodshed, including blood splatter on the walls. Like, if she cleaned the bedroom, why she didn't clean the walls? If she supposedly sent Harley to go get baking soda, why didn't she clean anything? Blood splatter on the walls and enough blood loss to stain the mattress. Yeah, if you have nosebleeds, you bleed on the mattress, soak through the carpet pad, and stain the concrete below. His bed. I don't know if we're going to get to see the photographs. We are on line 26. Based on evidence recovered, Gannon's remains were eventually brought through the house into the garage and likely loaded in the back of Letecia's Volkswagen SUV. She didn't clean the murder scene. If you found blood, she didn't clean the murder scene. So that's why I say the blood is from his nosebleeds. So they believe she took his body through the garage. Let's continue to read this, y'all. After cleaning the murder scene, Letecia utilized the truck to transport and dump Gannon's remains. Okay, so they believe she kept the body inside the house for a whole day until the 28th. She called the police the 27th, everybody. His body was still in the house inside a truck. So police didn't check inside the truck for a body. Because they did search the house, but they didn't search inside the garage, inside the truck. Let's keep going here. Letecia likely disposed of his remains off of Highway 105. They keep saying likely because they don't know. This is their speculation. Off of Highway 105 on Perry Park Road in Douglas County. Let me see if I can get some more light to this. Now, we'll continue to skim. You can skim. I'm skimming. Of course, he had nosebleeds. So, again, they believe she kept his body in the house for an entire day. A dead body. Now, she put it in a truck. She carried his body through the house to the garage. Yeah, this is not adding up. So I guess police had no reason to search the house or the SUV, even though they did search around the house. Okay, we're on line 27. Gannon stayed home from school on 27. Based on text messages from Letecia to Al Stauch, Gannon was up most of Sunday with a stomach problem. Okay, she told the school he would be absent on Monday. They verified he was marked absent on Monday. Okay, she told her job her stepdad was killed by a car and able to get the day off to care for Gannon. Oh, yeah, he was likely still alive. We on line 28. Other electronic evidence, such as time and date stamp, photographs, and videos were recovered from Letecia's cell phone. So they have video indicate he was alive the morning of. Yeah, you saw him getting into the car, right? Paragraph 54. We're not on 54. We're still on 24. So if we get to 54, it's supposed to be photos. I'm going to skim through this. Okay. Images taken on Letecia's phone at or about 8:13 in the morning on January 27 shows Gannon sleeping in his bed. Yeah, the kids love video games. Can Nintendo, maybe she searched can Nintendo find my Switch to find Gannon. So they still haven't found. Oh, come on, y'all. That's speculation. More speculation. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Switch does have tracking. Nintendo Switch, I'm pretty sure they have tracking capabilities that they don't tell you about. "31 investigators located video surveillance from a neighbor surveillance." 31 talks about the morning they got into the truck and left at 10:15 on the 27th. Line 32 talks about the video camera is several homes away and does not provide clear images. Shut up. The neighbor said it was Gannon, so it was Gannon. The neighbor did multiple interviews saying it was Gannon. The video, the truck returned at 2:19. This is around the time they believe Letecia killed him. So they believe immediately after they returned, he went to his bedroom. At 2:19, they returned. At 2:21, he was in the house. At 2:24, he was in the bedroom. Hold on. 2:19, they returned. 2:21, he was in the house. 2:24, he was in the bedroom. By 2:30, she had shot him, stabbed him, and beat him with a 2x4. Hold on. I might have to do a part 2 because the connection is acting funny. Let's continue. We're still on 32. Also, after viewing the video, they cannot be sure if another person exited the video or not. But I submit Gannon likely did return. Line 32, they are not sure. Line 32, they are not sure Gannon returned home. Line 32, they speculate Gannon returned home, but they are not sure Gannon returned home. So do they not have video of the other side from other residents? Oh, gosh. They do more speculating than we do. They talk about us speculating. Like, this affidavit is filled with speculation. I guess that's why they call it an investigation. Investigation must be another word for speculation. Let's continue on 32. Now, how in 32 can they state, I cannot be sure if another person exited the vehicle or not, but I submit I believe Gannon likely did return home. How can they say that if they have hours of footage? If you have hours and hours of footage, how can you speculate? How can you say you don't know? We're on 33. This is about the ADT. I believe Plunder did an ADT video about Letecia Stauch. Okay, based on data returned from the Stauch ADT security system, the motion detectors in the living room or basement did not register any activity from the time Letecia left the house to 14:22 hours, which is 2:22. That's 2:22. Yeah, Lena was at school, they say, and Harley was at work. Again, investigators believe, but they're not sure. Investigators openly state they're not sure if Gannon got out the truck. "34 talks about cell site information. She left her cell phone. We know she left her cell phone that morning. It's not suspicious. If I believe she came home with Gannon, how's it suspicious she left her cell phone? You believe she came home with Gannon. We're not sure. So that's not suspicious at all. We on 35. They're not talking about the Sugar Daddy website yet. 35 is talking about how much time she spent on Facebook in between the time period. Move on to 36. Her phone was locked at 9:56 in the morning on the 20th. Then she unlocked it after she got home at 2:45. Okay, 37. That's when Harley texts Gannon. Oh no. There was a message sent from Gannon's phone to Harley. Harley's phone that read Letecia left her phone at home. Okay, so it's open communication from Gannon to Harley that Letecia left her phone at home. Okay, this is talking about she traveled to Petco, Nevada Ave, Colorado Springs. She traveled 22 miles away from the residence, 30-minute drive. So, all those people who did a video saying she dumped his body in the morning time, your video was trash. But they're talking about her going to Petco in the morning time, and that's when whoever's doing the videos driving around Colorado, looking at Petco and looking at Subway, your video is trash. Your video is trash because they believe she killed them at home. That's why your video is trash. Another day in the car. She completed her purchase around 11:22 in the morning. They still believe Gannon is alive. His body has not been dumped. Okay, Gannon is not visible on any of the surveillance videos obtained at Petco. Okay. So he's not visible, but they believe he came home. Again, they speculate. Oh, they speculate worse than us. Her whereabouts are unknown. She has unknown whereabouts between 11:22 and 1:22 p.m. So between 11:22 a.m. and 3:22, 1:22 in the afternoon. 2 hours of unknown whereabouts. Again, they believe he was still alive. They believe he came home with her. They believe she killed him in his bedroom. At 1:22, Letecia was again captured on video surveillance, making a second purchase at the same Petco. Al Stauch sent a text message to Gannon's cell phone at or about at 12:06 p.m. that read, "Hey, buddy." The message went unanswered until 1:21 p.m. A little over an hour, it went unanswered. He asked his dad, "Can I play Zelda at least?" Mr. Al Stauch replied, "Not today." So the hours unaccounted for. I don't really care for. Where do they believe she went with him? That's what I want to know. Well, they believe she went to Petco and everywhere else, then came home. Well, paragraph 39 is interesting. 39 is interesting to me. Okay, we're on paragraph 40. Well, 39 just blows everybody else's theories out the water. For 40, paragraph 40 states a significant event occurred on Gannon's phone at or about 1:43 p.m., which is prior. It's about 30 minutes prior to them returning home. There was an internet search for "Can my parents find my cell phone if it's off?" They submit. Letecia made that internet search on Gannon's phone. That doesn't prove anything. We're still on 40. However, I located other internet searches with a... Oh my gosh. Let's go to 41. Okay, more speculation about a department. We're on 42. Okay, Gannon's phone was found at the residence. Okay, 42 doesn't make sense. 42, Gannon's phone, we're at the end of 42. Gannon's phone was found at the residence. I submit that Letecia did not get rid of Gannon's phone for fear it might be traceable. The Nissan returned at 2:20. A search warrant authorized by the court was executed. Well, they found no blood inside there, so the people who saying she killed them in a truck or took his body somewhere were just lame. Letecia had been without her cell phone for hours. Her screen was not unlocked until a couple hours later. 25 minutes, that's repeating some other stuff. So 44 is repeating stuff we read in the up below. 45, Lena returned home from school at 3:15. Okay, during a recorded forensic interview, investigators, Lena stated, they talked to the daughter Lena. She stated she returned home. Letecia told her Gannon was asleep. So at 3:15, Gannon was asleep. That's what Lena told him. And that she could not see him. They believe Lena was sent outside because Gannon was likely dead and Letecia was cleaning up blood from inside the house. But they don't know that to be true. They submit, but don't know that to be true. At 3:55, Mr. Stauch sent another message to Gannon's phone. He sent another message saying, "Hey, buddy." That message was not read until 1940 hours. Okay. It wasn't read until 7:40. And they're speculating he was likely murdered by that time. We're on 47. Based on exterior video footage, Harley arrived at the residence in a white Volkswagen Jetta at or about 1600 hours, 4:42, and picked up Lena at or about 4:52. That's when she sent the message to requesting carpet cleaner, trash bags, and baking soda. Well, she's a witness, but she hasn't refused to speak to investigators. And she was at work. To be clear, investigators have no. We're on paragraph 50. To be clear, investigators have not located any evidence that any person other than Lena and Letecia had access to Gannon between 10 p.m. and 10 a.m. and 5:34 p.m. on the 27th. Statements and images captured on body camera on January 27th. Your affidavit was reviewed, warned body camera in the workplace, obtained by deputy that responded. After responding, the teacher provided verbal consent for them to search the house with Gannon. Deputy searched the house but didn't find Gannon. So they searched the house, but they didn't search the garage. Cause they believe she put. Let's continue. They believe she put his body in the garage inside the Volkswagen. From the body cam footage, I learned the Volkswagen. The position of the Volkswagen in the garage is significant, specifically because of the confirmed presence of Gannon's blood in the garage. So his blood was in the garage below the area where the rear hatch of the Tagon would be, and the positive reaction of Blue Star Regiment. Why would it be blood on the rear bumper? Anyway, they believe it was blood on the rear bumper. And again, why would there be blood on the rear bumper? They also searched Gannon. They didn't search nothing. If you didn't search the car, you didn't search nowhere. Responding deputies also searched Gannon's basement bedroom. So, I guess they're going to release the photos later. This photo, we don't have the photos. Let me skim over this because we don't have the photos. Maybe we do have a photo. The placement of Gannon's bed is in the immediate location where his blood was found on the wall, the carpet, and on the concrete below the carpet. These details are discussed below, and a large volume of blood appears to have been in that area. Well, they submit logical speculation. Okay, black and white photos. Okay. Next. We'll continue on. The photos are blurred out. Okay, Al spent the night in Denver on the 25th and flew out to Denver on the 26th. Okay, Mr. Al Stauch spent the night in Denver on the 25th. Okay, and he flew out of Denver on the 26th. That's Letecia picked up Al on the 28th in a rental car. Now you would think if it was blood on the car, she would have cleaned the car because she would have saw blood. But okay. And in fact, the T-Con remained parked on High Airport. Okay, it remained parked. Between investigators and Mr. Stauch, a search for the SUV was conducted, and they could not find it. They submit she could not pick up her husband's in the Volkswagen, or could not pick him up in the Volkswagen. Let's go back up. So the same day she dumped the body, they believe, is the same day she picked up Al. So if you go back to paragraph 30-something, they say she drugged his body into the garage on the 27th. Then on the 28th, she dumped his body in Douglas County with the Volkswagen. So she used the Volkswagen on the 28th and dumped his body, parked it at the airport, then rented a Kia to go pick up Al. How does this go again? On the morning of the 28th, Letecia rented a 2019 Kia Rio from a rental car in Colorado Springs. She then picked up Al Stauch at the Colorado Springs airport at 8:50 a.m. So she picked him up at 8:50. What time did they say she believed she dumped the body on the 28th? So I'm going to go back up and check what time they believe she dumped the body on the 28th. Because on the 28th at 8:50 a.m. she picked up the husband. So at what time did she go to Douglas County in the Volkswagen and dump the body? Because the Volkswagen only has 71 miles on it. And they're saying 71 of those miles. No, scratch that. Volkswagen, 71 miles. It's over 22 miles to get to Douglas County. Over 22 miles back. Let's say that's 50 miles. So 50 of the 71 miles were used to transport Gannon. Then the rest was used to go to the airport or something. Because she left the... Let's go back. Anyway, she left the Volkswagen at the airport. We on 59. Yeah, she only put 71 miles. Yeah, on the Volkswagen. And she left the Volkswagen at a short-term parking lot at the airport. So she removed it 1900 hours. She removed it at 7 p.m. So she picked up Al at 8 in the morning on the 28th. Then by 7 p.m. she came back for the Volkswagen. So I guess Al drove her back to go get the Volkswagen, and she got the Volkswagen. Somebody drove her back. So somebody drove her back to go get the Volkswagen at 1900 hours. The rental car wasn't returned until the next day, that morning on the 29th. And they believe she didn't pick him up because it... No. Hold on. Now they saying something else. Okay. Investigators applied for and were granted a court search warrant to obtain the 2019 Kia Rio rented by Miss Letecia Stauch. Okay, the vehicle was located. Well, it was located the same place they found the Volkswagen was supposed to be. Okay, so when they got the Kia Rio, investigators did a swab from a stain that was confirmed to be blood in the trunk of the Kia Rio and submitted it to Metro Crime Lab and determined it was a mixture of two contributors. One was which male and the major. Okay, so the blood didn't match because the blood was determined to be a mixture of two contributors. One of which was male, and the major male profile did not match Gannon's DNA. Which somebody else had blood in that car. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, they did not match the blood with anything. They found no GPS data or location history. Oh my gosh. For the Kia Rio, so it's supposed to have GPS data on this Kia Rios. In 2019 it's supposed to. We are on line 66. The Volkswagen is important to the investigators because they believe it was used to transport Gannon on January 28th. Okay. So they do not know the locations of the Volkswagen between 7:02 28th to 1200 hours on the 29th. So let's right here. Investigators believe Letecia dumped Gannon's body on the evening of 28th or the 2020th. She picked Al up on the 28th. Let's go see. Didn't she pick Al up on the 28th though? Yeah, she picked Al up on the 28th at 8:50 in the morning with the Kia, and she left the Volkswagen at the airport. So let's go back down to 66. They believe she dumped Gannon's remains on the evening of the 28th. So Al was already home on the 28th because he got home. He arrived at 8 in the morning in Colorado. So they believe his body was sitting in the airport inside the Volkswagen SUV. Because she didn't have access. She didn't pick the Volkswagen up until late that afternoon, correct? So at 8 a.m., she didn't have the Volkswagen. She had it, but she didn't have it to dump the body. She didn't pick the Volkswagen up until when? Going back up. Because they believe on the 28th, after she picked up Al, she dumped his body in the afternoon. Okay, in fact, the Volkswagen remained parked at the airport until 7 o'clock that afternoon. Okay. I guess they see her getting into the car at 7. So somebody drove her there. Well, no, she probably just drove the Kia and just picked up the car by herself. So nobody necessarily drove her there. The rental place is next to the airport, more than likely. So 7 o'clock, she leaves the airport with the Volkswagen. The Tigons are unknown to investigators during the time period of 7:02 on the 28th to 12 o'clock on the 29th. So how did that? So they don't know that SUV should have GPS. So they don't know where the SUV went between 7 p.m. and 12 a.m. And the very next day, they took the SUV. The very next day, she reported him missing. The afternoon, the 27th, she reported him missing. The 28th, she picked up Al and allegedly dumped the body. The 29th, they seized the Volkswagen. That's suspicious because by the 29th, like, come on. She also did an interview on the 29th where she claimed she was abused by a guy named Eduardo. She claims this guy took Gannon. So the same day she did her interview with the police on the 29th, they seized the Volkswagen after they did the interview, which is suspicious. It's very suspicious. She arrived at 12 p.m. for the interview. Investigators noted that the vehicle was okay. So what? She cleaned the vehicle. So what? Why would she take that vehicle if she used it as a means to transport the body? Does that make sense? Could have took the rental car. They believe she cleaned the. They believe, they don't know. They believe she cleaned the vehicle because there was likely visible blood on the rear end. Yeah, visible blood. Yeah. This is stupid. Like, they have data from the computer system inside the SUV for the 29th, but they don't have data for the 28th. Not like they don't have data for this day, but we have data for that day. Let me start. This video captured a portion of a black SUV consistent with the Volkswagen at or about 11:30 a.m. on January 29th at the car wash. So before she came to the police station, the time and location are consistent with raw date obtained from the Volkswagen's computer system, described in more detail below. But if you go up here, they don't know where the Volkswagen was. The definite locations of the Volkswagen are unknown to investigators during the time period of 7 p.m. on the 28th and 12 a.m. on the 29th. But down here, we know it was at the car wash. Investigators applied for and were granted a search warrant for the Volkswagen. Yeah, that's stupid. Stupid. They seized it the same day. That's stupid. Whoever write these scripts are stupid. Okay. Possible traces. That word possible is speculative. On the rear of the vehicle, a rear passenger seat front passenger. So she didn't move his body from the rear passenger seat to the front passenger seat. In the area near the glove box. Okay. Swabs from the truck area were sent to Metro Crime Laboratory for analysis. Those results revealed that a DNA profile could not be developed, and swabs from the trunk was negative for the presumption presence of blood. And although I do not have a chemical, I thought they said swabs from the rear end were a match for Gannon's blood, but swabs from inside. Let's go over this again. Portions of searches revealed possible traces of blood on the rear of the vehicle, a rear passenger seat, a front passenger seat, in the area near the glove box based on forensics. Hold on. So was those positives? In a summary, the forensic portion of the search revealed whatever revealed possible speculative traces of blood. Swabs from the truck area were sent and were negative. So that's in her favor, negative. Okay, let's go on to page 10. We got 20 more pages of this crap. Let's see. I have learned that it reacts with iron. Found in blood when applied, emits a blue glow when a reaction occurs. I'm also aware that there are things other than blood that could also cause a reaction, such as other chemicals, and I do not submit that just because of a reactive with substance, that the substance must be blood, and only that there's a strong possibility of blood, the positive reaction. Again, it came back negative, though. They couldn't find a profile for it. It came back negative. So they couldn't say it was Gannon's blood. Those tests, they couldn't say it was Gannon's blood. So, okay, they kind of contradict themselves, unless I'm reading it wrong. Okay, so far, they can't link the blood in the car to Gannon. That's what negative means. Let's go back to negative. For further analysis, those results revealed that a DNA profile could not be developed, and that the swab from the truck was negative for Gannon's blood, or the presumptive presence of blood. Yeah. 69 is speculation. 69 is their speculation. That's what 69 is. 69, to be clear, eliminate the chemical use. Yeah, we know that. But again, that's not evidence. I'm on number 70. It's a whole lot to read, so I'm not gonna read everything. I'm gonna skim over everything. I'm not gonna read everything though. Well, there was blood on the garage because he had nosebleeds. This is just talking about, you can read it, the reaction, the chemicals they use to find blood. This is what they're talking about. However, the Metro Crime Laboratory did not return a result from the truck of the Volkswagen. However, the Metro Crime Laboratory However, the Metro Crime Laboratory did return a result from the trunk of the Volkswagen that was negative for the presence of blood. Okay, investigators believe blood was likely in contact with the bumper of the Volkswagen. And they believe while she was loading, Gannon remains in the trunk. Yeah. But again, it came back negative. Number 72. We're on 72. Number 70. The picture is not clear. Okay. Within the Volkswagen, a receipt from a dollar store was located. Timestamp January 27th. That's the day he went missing at 5:14 p.m. So, well, that was Harley. Didn't she send Harley to the store to get trash bags, baking soda, or something? But she sent Harley to get baking soda, and some other stuff. Yeah, Harley. Number 73. Investigators believe that Harley purchased these items at the discretion of Letecia based on the following text messages sent from Letecia's cell phone to Harley on the 27th at 4:52 p.m. A carpet powder, 2 things, baking soda, trash bags. Also included was baby oil, baby lotion, cotton rounds, and bubble gum. Yeah, well, they need baking soda and vinegar because Gannon has nosebleeds. But again, it is strange. The purchase of yeah, number 76. We're on 76. Also located was a parking receipt from the Colorado Springs Airport that documented the Volkswagen was brought into the airport short-term parking lot at 8:30 or a.m. or p.m. Okay, a.m. 8:30 a.m. and left the lot at about 12. I gotta keep doing these military times. 7:02 p.m. Okay, awesome. And she picked up Al on the 28th. But she picked up Al at 8:40. And she parked the SUV at 8:30. Then she went to the rental place next door, got a Kia, and picked up Al. She returned the Kia at 9 a.m. on the 29th. So a couple hours before she had to go to the police department, she returned the Kia. Oh, she was picked up by someone driving a white Jetta. That may have been Harley driving a Jetta. They are able to confirm. Harley is a witness. So how you are able to confirm Harley was driving it? It was Harley. Like, come on. Harley was a witness. She's supposedly a witness, but you can't confirm if she was driving it. Okay, let's continue on. Investigators are able to confirm that Harley was driving the Jetta, but it is her primary vehicle, and her historical cell site location from her cellular telephone records support her phone was in the area. As such, I believe Harley was likely driving the Jetta. Okay, that's to the airport and whatnot. And they contradict themselves. They do. When it comes to this Volkswagen, they contradict information they picked up from the computer system, which we all know computers don't need computer systems. Cars don't need computer systems to operate. You don't need to put a computer system in a car in order for a car to move. That's just a side note. That's just a side note. We're on 79. Investigators were able to download telematics and store electronic data from the Volkswagen. They keep pointing to paragraph 152. Dude, I'm too far away from 152. They were able to determine some other locations. Okay, that's where the confusion comes in. They were able to determine some other locations, including the location off of Highway 105, Perry Park Road in Douglas County, Colorado. That was on January 28th. That's the day after. I forget the timestamp. But she parked the Volkswagen on the 28th at the airport and then rented a Kia to pick up Al next door at the airport. Then on the 29th, she took the Volkswagen to a car wash before she went to the police station to give an interview. Okay. I recounted that right. Okay, they served a search warrant to AT&T. Between 8:30 and 10:20 on the 28th, the Tagon was generally in a greater number. The Air Force Academy. Was generally in the greater northwest portion of Colorado Springs, and likely also in the area north of the Academy. So they believe she dumped his body between 8:30 and 10:20 p.m. So it wasn't the afternoon. They believe at nighttime. So Al was already at home. Al got home at 9 in the morning. She picked Al up on the 28th around 8:40 a.m. in the Kia. She left the SUV at the airport, I guess, until 8, because this is what they're saying. They picked up data at 8 o'clock. So between 8:30 and 10:20, they believe she dumped his body. They believe she dumped it northwest of Colorado Springs, and likely also north of the Air Force Academy in southern Douglas County. They speculate between this time period she dumped his body. Of note, during the time period of 8 and 10 on the 28th of 2020, okay, they talk about Harley again. And I don't know why they connecting Harley with this, the dumping of the body. Okay, Harley's cell phone is connected to a tower that would service the Stauch residence over approximately 30 miles from Letecia's suspected location. There was activity on Harley's telephone during that time. Investigators did not believe Harley was with Letecia when she disposed of the body. However, at around 10:26 p.m., Harley's cell phone leaves the Stauch residence and goes to the area of Powers and Carefree, where investigators suspect she picked Letecia up. Number 81 is very suspect. Paragraph 81. Let's highlight paragraph 81, and we will look over that once we finish with this video. Let's read it one more time. Paragraph 81. Of note, during the time period approximately between 8:30 and 10:20 p.m. on January 28th, Harley's cell phone, this is when they believe she dumped the body, Harley's cell phone is connected to a tower that would service the Stauch residence over approximately 30 miles from Letecia's suspected location. There was activity on Harley's telephone during that time, and the investigators do not believe that Harley was with Letecia when she disposed of the body. However, at approximately 10:26 p.m., Harley's cell phone leaves the Stauch residence and goes to the area of Powers and Carefree, where investigators suspect she picked up Letecia. At 10:30 at night, she picked up Letecia. Okay, maybe what? Why would she pick up Letecia if Letecia is driving the Volkswagen to dump the body? Maybe they explain 81 better below. Because they believe Gannon's body was dumped around 8:30 and 10:20. So how's she gonna dump a body if you suspect Harley went to pick up Letecia? Investigators were able to determine some of the locations. I'm on 79. Back at 79. They were able to determine some of the locations of the Volkswagen on the evening of the 28th. And that's where they believe, that's when they believe she dumped the body. Number 80, last sentence, I submit that during this time period, investigators believe that Letecia disposed of Gannon's remains. So between 8:30 and 10:20 p.m., they believe she disposed of Gannon's remains. Let's go to 81. However, hold on. However, at approximately 8:26, not 8:26, at 10:26, Harley's cell phone leaves the Stauch residence and goes to pick up Letecia. That was on the 28th. On the 28th of 20, I'm back at 79. Yeah. Investigators believe she dumped his body between 8:30 and 10:20. They believe Harley picked up Letecia at 10:26, or she left the house to go pick up Letecia at 10:26. Okay, maybe they'll tell us why Harley had to go pick up Letecia. Now I'm gonna do another video about this because I gotta make a shorter video about all this. The 29th of January 2020. Interview and a report of alleged rape by Letecia Stauch. Oh my gosh. Okay, so far from 1 to 81, paragraph 1 to 81, we have the, Lord. They searched the house, blood evidence. They used some chemical. The blood profile came back negative. Harley driving a Jetta. Harley picking up Letecia. More searches. Blood stains on carpet, blood stains on wall. They believe she killed them in the house, in the basement room of the house. Blood stains on the wall, blood stains on the carpet, blood stains on the concrete under the carpet. She rented a Kia. She picked up Al from the airport at 8:40 a.m. on the 28th. She left the Volkswagen at the airport until about 10 that night. Then things get confusing on paragraph 81. Harley leaves the house at 10:26. Her cell phone pings. She's in the area of Powers and Carefree, where investigators suspect she picked Letecia up. For 81, maybe I'm not connecting the dots. Paragraph 81 doesn't explain paragraph 80. Paragraph 1 through 80 doesn't explain 81. So I thought Letecia picked up. Here's how it goes. I thought Letecia picked up the SUV around 8 at night. And the body was still in the SUV when she parked it at the airport around 8 a.m. So the body's sitting at the airport until about 10 at night on January 28th, or 8 at night. Then she goes get the SUV. Then she goes dump Gannon's body off of highway. What highway did they state she dumped Gannon's body? Highway 105, South Perry Park Road in Douglas County. That's where they believe she dumped the body on the 28th, the evening. For what reason does Harley has to go pick up Letecia if Letecia has the SUV? So later on, I will go back and connect those dots myself. Let's move on to Letecia's interview. Okay, give me a second. Okay, we're on January 29th, 2020. Letecia's interview. Alleged rape. Reports of rape by Letecia to investigators. Okay. So almost everything in paragraph 1 to 81 makes sense, except the part about Harley driving and picking up Letecia. I'm still on 81, y'all. We about to go to 82. This is going to be the interview Letecia did. I'm still on 81. Okay, the data revealed, I'm on 80. The data revealed about 8:30 to 10:20, the SUV was in the greater northwest portion of Colorado Springs and likely north of the Air Force Academy in Southwest Douglas County. But yet in 81, you say somebody went to go pick up Letecia. The SUV was in that area. 81, somebody went to go pick up Letecia. Paragraph 80, the Volkswagen is in the SUV is in the area between 8 and 10:20. That's where they believe she dumped the body. In Air Force Academy, I know Harley is in the Air Force, and she's in Air Force training. But Harley is not a suspect. She's actually a witness. Here, they're trying to say she's an accomplice, but she's not an accomplice. But she went to go pick up Letecia. What car did she use? They don't say what car she used. They don't believe Harley was with her when she disposed of the body, however. Okay. So paragraph 80 and 81, they have to clean up. It does not explain what car Harley used or why Harley will go pick up Letecia. Paragraph 80 and 81, please clean up. Rewrite paragraph 80 and 81. Okay. January 29th, the interview between detectives and Letecia and her claims of rape. Go to 82. As mentioned above, Letecia voluntarily... Okay, you voluntarily. Letecia Stauch voluntarily came into El Paso for an interview, but only after she was evasive and avoided speaking with investigators 101. Why would she come in voluntarily but be evasive and avoided speaking with investigators 101? Her interview was audio and video recorded. We know that. So Somebody gonna come out with the audio and video recording in the next 2 days. So either dead with a phone or plunder are gonna have the audio or video of this investigation or interrogation. Let's continue. Her interview was audio and video recorded, and the below information includes her own statements, as well as investigators geared towards corroborating those statements. In general, her statements are reasonable categorized. Of course, they're going to categorize it as untruthful, incomplete, and misleading because they don't believe her. They're trying to pin it on her, so they don't believe her. Of course, that's going to be their statement. Okay, on 83. Letecia was supposed to arrive at 10 a.m. on 10/29. On 10 a.m. on January 29, 2020. She didn't arrive to 12. Well, she voluntarily came in, so it don't matter when she arrived. But she voluntarily asked to be investigated. So don't worry about what time she come in, because she volunteered to come in. Although she spoke with investigators on the phone several times, she did not want investigators coming to her home. It was difficult at best to track her down. Investigators provided food and water to Letecia during the interview, of course. Of interest, Letecia brought several pieces of notebook paper with her that contained notes she had written down, of course. During the interview, she referred to these pieces of paper and asked investigators if she could just read her notes. Investigators were not able to seize those notes. I have conducted hundreds of interviews of subjects, victims, and witnesses, and it's extremely rare. It's just extremely rare for an individual to bring notes to interview. Yeah, whatever. Letecia drastically departed from her initial statements given to El Paso deputies regarding the report of Gannon's disappearance. So, she drastically changed her statements. In a summary, Letecia said she had been held at gunpoint, raped by a Hispanic male she knew the Hispanic male as Eduardo, and that Gannon was abducted by the male after he finished abusing her. The interviewing detectives believed her statements were false based on prior experience. They believed it was false not because they collected evidence, but because of prior experience. Okay, whatever. Letecia said she arrived home at 2:30 on the 27th of 2020, January, and she disarmed her security system. And then she went into the basement. She said Eduardo was in the basement. So now we got to look for people on camera entering the house. Okay, continue. She said Eduardo was in the basement, attacked her. Okay, the ADT. What did the ADT warrant say in paragraph 70 and 60s? Okay. She said that Eduardo was in the basement, attacked her, and pointed a gun at her. She said that after Eduardo had her at gunpoint, he allowed her to go upstairs to greet her stepdaughter. At 2:30, she came home. She disarmed the security system, went into the basement. I'm reading this again. He pointed the gun, had her at gunpoint. He allowed her to go upstairs and greet her stepdaughter, Letecia Stauch, who had just arrived home from school. I forget what time they said she arrived home. Letecia said she sent her daughter outside to ride her bike. So that's when her daughter asked, can she see Gannon? And they believed Gannon was already dead, and she sent her outside to ride her bike. Then returned to the basement where Eduardo assaulted her against her will between 3:30 and 4:30. During this period, she believed that she had hit her head and may have blacked out. Investigators noted no injuries on Letecia's head during their contact. Well, they didn't search her head. They didn't notice. They didn't move her hair out the way to see if there was any injuries. Letecia also said that during the attack, Gannon jumped on Eduardo's back, and that Eduardo was able to throw Gannon off the back and across the room. After Eduardo had finished the assault, he had the gun held to Gannon and demanded a suitcase. Okay, here comes the suitcase and the gun into play. Letecia provided him with a brown suitcase in a cardboard box. So details are matching up because people talked about the suitcase. And then he was shot with a gun. Eduardo attempted to assault her again, but she hit her head and blacked out again. Letecia stated that she tried to fight Eduardo off, but was unsuccessful. I know from training and experience that an individual holds another person at gunpoint, he or she will likely not allow the person to have, until described being allowed to greet her stepdaughter. Well, Letecia was allowed to greet. Okay, here's what the department is saying. They know from experience somebody held at gunpoint, the suspect wouldn't let that person leave or allow that person to escape. But Gannon was downstairs with the suspect who had a gun. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Gannon was downstairs. The suspect had a gun. So, of course, she will go greet her daughter and come back downstairs to make sure Gannon is safe. If Letecia's story was accurate, yeah, he or she will likely not, I'm on 88, he or she will likely not allow the person to have an opportunity for escape. As Letecia described being allowed to greet her stepdaughter upstairs before returning to the basement. And Gannon was in the basement with Eduardo, who had a gun. That's why she returned to the basement. I'm pretty sure if Gannon wasn't in the basement, she would have took her daughter and ran outside. But let's continue. More crucially, if Letecia's story was accurate, any reasonable person would have immediately called 911 and reported the home invasion, assault, and kidnapping of the child. And that, that part is suspicious. Letecia didn't call law enforcement until hours later. That part is suspicious. Then again, she could have been looking out for Gannon's safety because, again, the police got reports of ransoms. The police department received 2 ransom notes over the phone saying if they do not send money, Gannon will not be returned safely. So that did happen. They did receive ransoms. They couldn't trace who made the calls, but they did receive ransoms. Even more, I'm on 89. Even more significant, Letecia said she cleaned up the area where the alleged attack had happened. She straightened up signs of disturbance in Gannon. That is suspicious, guys. I would have called the police right after. Even though I wouldn't, if he said, you're not getting a boy back until we get this amount of money, I understand not calling the police. Because he could have said, if you tip off the police, we're going to kill the boy. Even more significant, Letecia said she cleaned up the area where the alleged attack happened. She straightened up the signs. 89. We're on 89. She cleaned up the place. They recovered cleaning supply. Well, they suspect she cleaned up the murder of Gannon and not assault, a scene of assault. They took steps to corroborate Letecia's statement before dismissing them as false and misleading. Okay. Hold on. Let's continue. Gannon's continue on 90. Okay, still on 90. They took steps before dismissing her claim. I don't know what step. For example, investigators reviewed video footage from a security camera that captured the outside of the house resident. Maybe he entered the home from the basement or something. Investigator did observe Elena. So, investigators did observe Elena arriving home from a school bus at or about 3:11, and she did go outside at 3:30, like Letecia said. Going back up to 89. And she said between 3:30 and 4:30, so she did meet her daughter upstairs at the, So some of the things she said happened do line up. Some things don't line up. Cause they did see her outside, the daughter outside playing, riding her bike at 3:30. But they don't even have footage of Gannon getting out the car. So I mean, of course you're not gonna have footage of a Hispanic male entering the basement if there is an entrance to the basement. So we'll have to look at the blueprints of the house to see if there's a way to enter the basement through the back of the house. Again, that's that sugar daddy website everybody talks about Letecia was on. Eduardo sugar daddy website. We're on 91 now. So 89 and 90 do provide some evidence to support Letecia's claim of assault going on at the house. So there's some stuff to provide her claim as true, that there was an intruder in the basement. How else would he get in? He won't walk through the front door because the front door was locked. Okay, so he got in through the back. Okay, which you don't have cameras at the back. Okay. And they took steps to serve her leaving the resident here. Okay, 91. Cooperate. Well, if he was holding a boy for ransom, why would you even give evidence that would possibly identify him if he's holding him for ransom? Okay. Let's get into... Okay, let's get it. Letecia stated she met Eduardo on the 26th of 2020, the day prior to Gannon's disappearance. Can I provide... Yeah, I can read this. I'm skimming. After the incident... Okay, this goes into the candle incident. Okay. Letecia Stauch stated that she met Eduardo on the 26th of 2020, a day prior to Gannon's disappearance. She generally described a Hispanic male. They don't know if he was murdered on the 27th. They found his body in Florida 2 months later. So I'm not going to say he was murdered on the 27th when they don't know that. She generally described a Hispanic male with brown hair and brown eyes, but could not provide any specific identifying information. Okay, in summary, she told investigators that Gannon had knocked over a candle on Sunday, causing the carpet to burn. After that incident, she drove around the neighborhood where residential construction was taking place, which there is construction taking place, because when you look at the interview she did on the 30th, you can see they're doing construction in the area. That's in construction. That's a developing area. So she met Eduardo, who's a construction worker, which it is common for Hispanics to be construction workers. That's common. Who was working on a house and asked if he could repair the carpet in her home. That makes total sense. She asked Eduardo, who was working on the house, if he could repair the carpet in her home. Eduardo agreed, and Letecia provided him the garage door code, and they agreed she would repair the carpet while she was shopping the next day. So the garage door to the basement to garage door to basement. His only access in the house was to the garage door. But I don't remember reading anything about them seeing him on the video going to the garage door. And this is why we speculate he went through the back. Or Gordo went through the back. If you don't see him on the front, he went through the back. Why? Because they don't have video of Gannon getting out the car. And they don't have video of the back of the house. So maybe he went through the back. Usually the garage should be in front, right? Which was dumb. Which is dumb if she gave him the code to the garage door and left the door open. Okay, listen, and they agreed he would repair the carpet while she was shopping the next day. And it's easy for her defense to verify her accounts of meeting somebody doing construction. It's easy. All they have to do is go to the construction company, ask for the names of the people working that day, and ask them did they see Letecia Stauch, approach anyone, and ask for help. The police didn't do that themselves. They didn't go to the construction company. They haven't stated it. The police didn't go to the construction company, ask who was working that day, and ask them, did you see this lady approach anybody working? So maybe they did do that, but so far they haven't stated they went to the construction company. To a extent, 93, to a extent Letecia spoke about Lena, investigators were able to corroborate those statements, but never observed Agardo or anyone else arriving or leaving. Okay, let's listen to this. To the extent Letecia spoke about Lillian, I had her name early. When she spoke to her daughter, investigators were able to corroborate. So they was able to corroborate some of the statements Letecia said, but they never observed Agardo or anyone else arrive or leave the residence during that time period based on exterior neighborhood video footage of the front of the Stauch residence. So, again, they didn't have exterior or the back of the residence. Like I just said, they didn't go to the construction company and ask for the roster who was working that day. Again, specifically exterior video footage revealed that Lena was riding her bike between 3:30 and 3:42. Furthermore, the front door of the residence opened and closed at 3:28, based on data from ADT security and discussed now below. Okay, we're getting into ADT. Let's continue. Let me wait for this signal. Okay. Now we're talking about ADT again in 94, paragraph 94. Okay, the officer states, I know from training and experience that when individuals, next. Let's continue reading it though. When individuals concoct lies, most reasonably to conceal the truth, they oftentimes leave portions of truth within those lies. I submit that the statement Letecia made reference the daughter, Lena, and the time period Lena was at the residence are to be true based on video evidence. Her other statements, however, are blatant lies, yeah. But you don't have video of what happened in the back of the house, of anybody entering the back of the house to the basement. Investigators you also got to show the garage door, that nobody went into the garage or wherever the garage is located. More than likely the garage is located in front of the house. Then again, the back of the house, you have no video to see if anybody broke in. Okay. Investigators also revealed Letecia's phone record during the time period of the we're on 95. Investigators also revealed Letecia's phone records during the time period of the alleged assault between 3:30 and 4:30, January 27, 2020. During this time period, Letecia had phone activity to include an outgoing phone call and numerous text messages to Al Stauch and Harley, mainly to discuss purchasing a new set of headphones. So there was a text message at 3:41, 3:42, 3:43, 3:44, 3:45, 4:11, 4:19, and 4:20. Which is strange. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 text messages she sent back to back. 4:11, she stopped texting for 15. She stopped texting for 26 minutes. 4:11, then 4:19, then back to back 4:19, 4:20. Okay. What's kind of okay next? And that doesn't prove that wasn't nobody in the house though. 96. Investigators were also granted a search warrant by the court that was served to ADT. Okay, let's see. The Stauch residence was equipped with basement and living room motion detector and contact detectors on the front and rear door. ADT was in possession of the documented time of day of the event that generated law. For example, when either was after the front and the door is closed, the event. The teacher claimed that she was between 2:30 and 3. Okay, between 2:30 and 3:30. But she didn't send the first text to after 3:40, yo. And she claims the event happened between 2:30 and 3:30. Okay. So paragraph 95 does not help prosecution. Now paragraph 95, this helps defense. It helps Letecia more. Because paragraph 97 states the assault happened 2:30 and 3:30. So between 2:30 and 3:30, Letecia Stauch did not use her cell phone. She did not send a text. She didn't send her first text to 3:41. Okay, let's continue on 97. Letecia claimed that she between 2:30 and 3:30. During that time, the back door of the residence, located on the main level, was open and closed 10 times. Okay. So between we won't say before, right when she got home at 2:15, 2:20. So immediately after she got home. During the time the back door of the residence was located on the main level, was open and closed 10 times. And they don't have video, like I said, they don't have video of the back door. They deny her claims, but it was the back door was open 10 times. If indeed Letecia was assaulted in the basement, it would be impossible for her to open up to the back door. Maybe it was more than one suspect in the house. You ever thought about that? Maybe Eduardo came with more people. And oh Lord, her cell phone records, ADT kind of it backs up her claims that somebody else was in the house. Because Lena didn't come out the back door 10 times. Lena was in the front yard riding a bike. So the ADT in that cell phone record kind of backs her claims up. So they really had them. They screwed the pooch on that. They screwed the pooch. 10 times, y'all. 10 times. They read it again. That means somebody else was in the house. And it wasn't Gannon, because Gannon was in the basement. And the daughter was outside riding a bike. So who was opening the door 10 times in between those times? Just maybe. We're on 98. For example, between... I really don't care about January 23rd or January 26th. I don't care. Yeah. Now, this supports Letecia's defense. 98 supports Letecia. The logs from ADT indicate significant activity in the basement of the residence, where evidence suggests Gannon was... Now, they speculate he was murdered in the basement. They don't know. They speculate. For example, between the 23rd and 26th, the average number of basement motion events was 3.5. But on the 27th, the average number of basement motion events was 10.3. That's a 3 times increase in motion. So there was something going on that the police aren't saying or the police cannot find. A possible scenario for the increase in activity, Letecia was going up and down store. I doubt that. She was going up and down stairs in order to get cleaning supply. I doubt that. Let's go back up. And they say possible, a possible scenario. They're speculating once again, a possible scenario. Let's go back up. Yeah. Okay, during 2:30 and 3:30, the back door of the residence was open 10 times. Why would she go out the back door? Why would she go out the back door? The cleaning supply are in the kitchen. You don't have to go out the back door to get cleaning supply when they're in the kitchen. And then she had to tell Harley. She had to tell Harley to go get cleaning supply too. So 97 and 98. Well, 97, 98, 96, and 95 support Letecia Stauch's claim of there being an intruder in the house. Well, 99, I did read 98, right? So 98 was the increased activity in the basement by 300% increase, a 300% increase. And they speculate she went outside to get cleaning supply. No. Let's move on to 99. Towards the end of the interview, Letecia said she wanted to leave. Investigators illegally seized her telephone, detained her while they applied for. Hold on. This is what she's talking about. Hold on. This is what she's talking about when they violated her rights. Because they illegally seized her property. Okay, towards the end, she voluntarily came in for an interview, and they seized her property. Towards the end of the interview, Letecia said she wanted to leave. Investigators illegally seized her telephone, illegally detained her while they applied for a search warrant to obtain her DNA collection. Now, 99 is not going to help prosecution. 99 helped the defense. Letecia began stuffing tissues in her pants and said she was having chest pains and shortness of breath. Investigators immediately requested medical assistance, and paramedics from the Colorado Springs Department arrived. Letecia had appropriate responses to the paramedic questions. Okay, chest pains and shortness of breath. Maybe the chest pains and the shortness of breath came from the struggle with her rapist, and she hit her head a few times during the struggle. So the affidavit does verify her claims. She was detained illegally by El Paso Sheriff's Department. Not looking good. 99, 98, 97, 96. Not looking good for the prosecution. Oh my gosh. They admit to legally detaining her. They don't put illegally, but what they did was illegal. Oh my gosh. I would sue the shit out of them. I'm aware that Letecia has made statements regarding Gannon's distance. We're on 90. We're on 100. On 100. 99, she had chest pains and stuff. I'm aware that Letecia has made statements regarding Gannon's disappearance to individual others than law enforcement, including but not limited to her friend, her husband, the media. Indeed, some of those conversations have been captured and memorialized and recorded phone conversations and email messages. Letecia's stories have continued to evolve. Material facts continue to change, including but not limited to identifying her attacker, the location of Gannon's abduction, and details of her alleged rape. So did she change the details of her alleged rape? Did she change the location of Gannon's abduction? Did she change the identity of her attacker's name? Okay, we'll see. During her statement, Letecia did deny, of course she denied because she didn't do it, and provided explanation of why there was blood she provided explanation. While there was blood in the Volkswagen, the blood came back negative. While the blood in the Gannon's room, nosebleed, and while she was in the area of Palmer's Lake, Colorado. Which there was no body in the lake, so hey. Letecia is transported to the hospital on January 29th in Colorado Springs. We are on 102. It's getting juicy. It's getting juicy. Looking like prosecution is going to have a tough time with this. Beyond a reasonable doubt, so far they have not proven Letecia Stauch committed any crime. They have not proved nothing so far. And this is just the arrest affidavit, but they have not proved anything so far. Come on to Letecia Stauch. We're on 102. Letecia Stauch was transported to the hospital via ambulance from the El Paso Sheriff's Department for further medical attention. Letecia was accompanied by detectives during the ride to the hospital. Unlike questions at the sheriff's office by paramedics during the ambulance ride, Letecia was unresponsive to questions by medical personnel and seemed to have a miraculous recovery when they arrived at the hospital. The ambulance ride was recorded. Yeah, I would have a miraculous recovery too. When you're holding me against my will and you're stealing my property, I'm pretty sure I would get stressed out and start having chest pains. And once I get away from your crazy ass, I wouldn't have chest pains and wouldn't be stressed out. Okay? Especially when you suffer the injury to the head, okay? And whatever injury she may have suffered during her assault by Mr. Eduardo, who they haven't found yet. Letecia received medical care at the hospital. Details of that care are not included for privacy reasons. She had no life-threatening injuries. And let's continue. I'm not going to comment on her medical situation. They might produce injuries to her head. Her defense might produce medical injuries to her head to line up with her being raped. The lineup continued. Letecia continued invasive behavior at the hospital, but particularly after investigators told her they were going to detain her pending collecting DNA. The sheriff wanted to collect. Let me stop skimming. Ultimately, the search warrant for the collection of non-testimonial evidence was signed and executed. A second warrant was compelled. Suddenly, Azam was initially arrested by the court, but then squashed by the court. Squashed by the court. To be clear, Letecia did not allow it to be completed. A sane exam. I don't know if that's an exam for a rape kit or a psychological exam. I don't know. I have more details about a sane exam when I get a chance to look it up. 105, Letecia was not in custody after the warrant was executed at the hospital. Of course she wasn't. They did so much illegal shit. She voluntarily came in to see y'all guys, and y'all violated her constitutional rights. Oh, shit. Letecia was not in custody after the warrant was executed, of course, because she didn't do nothing wrong. Unless the hospital, of course, because you had no evidence or nothing. And this was January 29th. They haven't even searched the house yet. January 29th, she did the interview. They hadn't searched the house for blood or nothing. Of course, they couldn't arrest her. And left the hospital without telling investigators. Of course, why would you tell investigators? You're not under arrest. I will leave the hospital too. I ain't got to tell you a damn thing. She also made a phone call from the waiting room at the hospital. There was physical surveillance being conducted by law enforcement in the area. And the area... Here's the thing. They don't know if she dumped the body or not. If they were going to arrest her on the 28th, scratch that one, because they alleged she dumped the body on 28th. Let's continue. And the 29th is when they violated her constitutional rights. There was a surveillance conducted by one from the area. Investigators learned Letecia was picked up by only person in the hospital and was reunited with her daughter 7 miles from the hospital. Okay. 106, although her behavior was not illegal, I submit that as pressure continued to increase from investigators, Letecia became more and more desperate to leave the hospital, likely because she felt she wasn't going to be caught in her lies because she didn't have to talk. She's like, I refuse to talk. It's time for me to go. Again, you violated her rights. Furthermore, Letecia did not want to pursue collecting evidence that might say one to find her suspected rapist. Now, all they had to do was go to the construction company Ask for a list of employees who were working that day, and then go question those employees how did they see Letecia. So far, the police department has never went to that construction company, asked for a list of employees who were working that day in that area, and questioned them. So far, they haven't said they did that. Okay, next, 107. Searches of Letecia's residence and discovery of confirmed blood. Yeah, the blood was from nosebleeds, we know. I'm going to skim through this because this is about done with. Letecia, 107, investigators searched the Stauch residence several times over several applying for and being granted search warrant from the court. The purpose of these search warrants was to collect evidence, including biological evidence, to support a couple of investigation. The forensic searches were conducted by Carlos Preventive and Crime London. They were confidential during 20 initial search was authorized by Mr. Stauch, and he provided consent to the Stauch residence. Not all of the evidence recovered is included below. However, the forensic testing results of several items, including their parasite 842, were discussed. 107 proves nothing. 108 Gannon's remaining family members were living in their residence area during the period of these searches, and investigators did not initially seal the residence off. They did not initially seal the residence off. Crime scene and another from another corner of Springs, Metro London responded to the residence and found traces of blood throughout the residence based on Blue Star forensic light blood stain residence test. There are visible blood in the residence and the ground and other portions of the house. Blue Star forensic stain with some limited alarm that was squad and discussed above 110. By way of background, a residence located in the ranch style single home found two-car attached garage. There are 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms in the residence. 2 of those bedrooms are in the basement, where I believe the alleged attacker entered through the basement. Even he entered through the garage door, he entered through the basement back door. He entered through the back, including Gannon's next to. And either way they entered through the back, he had the garage code. Whatever code Letecia gave this strange man so he can work on the carpet is how he got in through the back door. Or this is how he got in the house, period. However you want to put it. Basement including Gannon's next to Gannon's room. There are the unfinished utility room outside the basement door, another room in the back. There's a staircase with a small landing that allows access from the main level to the basement. There's a staircase with a small landing that allows access from the main level to the basement, and the garage is accessible from the inside of the house. The garage is accessible from inside the house. There's a staircase with a small landing that allows access to the stairs. The reason I'm reading 110 is to map out how the intruder, Eduardo, could have gotten in the house. They don't see him on the camera in the front yard, and they don't have video of the backyard. So let's continue on 110. The Blue Star playing in bedroom. Let me read that one more time. By the way of background, it's a 2-car garage. There are 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms in the residence. 2 of those bedrooms are in the basement, including Gannon's room is in the basement. Next to Gannon's room, there's an unfinished utility room. And on the other side of the basement, another bedroom and a bathroom. There's a staircase with a small landing that allows access from the main level to the basement. And the garage is accessible from the inside of the residence. Okay. The Blue Star was applied again in the hallway leading to return from the bedroom. Okay, next. From the stair, the garage to all these areas, they found positive results for likely presence of blood. We on 112. You're talking about blood. We just skim over this. Okay, it was suspected the blood had been seen in the crime team investigator and the job was suspected was found. Investigators Gannon had nosebleed. Gannon marched out season contained a red stain consistent with blood in the same area as in the carpet. The blood cast onto the wall. The stains on the mattress were swallowed but were not tested. Again, they're not talking about gunpowder. If he was shot, there would be gunpowder. Blood. There'll be some evidence of bullets, of gun being used. Someone would say they heard a gunshot. I'm going to skim through the rest of this. I have included several crime scene photos that involve the wall in this gun's bed. Next. I submit that the blood located in Gannon rooms have been cleaned up based on, because Gannon had nosebleeds. Investigators have requested that a report from Tom Williams and Turner Kitchen certified senior. So there's some reports they don't have back. Mr. Griffin examined the blood found Gannon's body. Mr. Griffin reported that the stains on the walls are consistent, which conclude gunshot wound force or stab. Mr. Griffin did not. They still, number 116, they still haven't gotten confirmation. 116, I'm taking that speculation. Because they say they still haven't gotten confirmation. Investigators have requested but have not yet received a report from Tom Griffin, who is an international association, International Association for Identification, Certified Senior Crime Scene Analysis. A long title for nothing. So, Mr. Griffin preliminarily reported that stains on the walls are consistent with blood spatter producing events will include a gunshot, blunt force, or stabbing. Which doesn't this doesn't point to Letecia doing it. Nothing reports to her doing it. Next, trace evidence was suspected to be obtained from electronic circuit in Gannon's bed. Those 12 revealed that blood was indeed Gannon's blood. Based on DNA, the electrical socket was evidence of streak marks, which are reasonable to the attempted cleaning when investigators moving like okay. Let's continue on. I have to clean up photographs suspended. Okay, we're not looking at blood stains because we can't see them. They interviewed her the 29th voluntarily. Didn't they search the house on the 29th? Okay. Let's go back to our videos to see when they state they first came to the house. Because Letecia's first interview was released on the 31st. She did her first interview on the 30th. TV interview on the 30th, 31st. I don't remember seeing crime scene at the house on the 29th. She did the interview for the police on the 29th. I remember crime scene coming on February 1st or 2nd. So, okay. Again, I'm skipping this because they contradict the dates they first arrived at the house. The dates 29th contradict the dates I know to be they first arrived at the house. They didn't. My first report to them arriving at the house wasn't until after the 31st. I mean, 2 days, just 2 days after him being reported missing, you guys arrive at the house. There's a lot of legal stuff going on. There's a lot of legal stuff going on here. A lot of legal stuff. Stauch and should be no doubt initial point that Gannon had let the home had not returned. What? At Paso deputies 122, deputies responded to the Stauch home for a call about a missing 11-year-old on the 27th. They did not notice any blood stains in Gannon's bedroom, and it should be noted that initial report Gannon left the home and had not returned. I guess. And this report doesn't talk about him being found in Florida. It says nothing about Florida. Now, this report does give us an idea of how he got to Florida with Letecia being raped and being raped and held hostage by a construction worker named Eduardo. So that will link how Gannon got to Florida. Because no one else can figure out how she got to Florida. Well, maybe Eduardo killed him and took him to Florida. How about that? Well, he held him, like, he didn't die in the house. He did not die in the house. He held him hostage, and then when they refused to pay, he killed them and dumped them in Florida. And that seemed more reasonable. Just by reading this affidavit, it seems more reasonable. Letecia Stauch was telling the truth about the rapist. It seems more reasonable. That's how Gannon ended up in Florida. Because 955 miles on a Kia does not equate to Florida. This is just talking about blood DNA again. Now, it is conflicting to find all this blood everywhere and all these magical spots. And it's conflicting to say he wasn't killed there, but it's all this blood all over places. Again, we're going to see if they point all that, the defense. We're going to see if the defense says all that blood came from nosebleeds and not from a gunshot in the house. Let me read some of this. Letecia's blood was recovered from the interior of a size 8.5 Nike shoes. Again, they said theory. They theorized everything. Everything is theorized in this. Maybe this is important to read over. Let me read over it some more. Receiving a criminal crime luna completed by so this card for later attributed to DNA. Okay, they toothbrush, Bristol, toothbrush head, toothbrush retainer. Gannon's profile was found from blood samples taken in a garage on the outside of a size 8.5 Nike shoe in Gannon's bedroom. Letecia's DNA was... Why would Letecia's blood be inside the shoe, though? Submit to the court that the lab has covered their... Again, it's theory. No. Twilight started daytime around nothing compared to dinner. That's the carpet. Again, the blood profiles for the SUV came up negative. And if you go back to the affidavit, a lot of the blood profile from the car came up negative. Don't forget to mention that it came up negative. Came up negative. Only blood came up positive was from the nosebleeds on the carpet. Everything else came up negative. Volkswagen came up negative. The Nike shoe, I don't see what the Nike shoe has to do with anything. Don't care. This is about the cell phone. Maybe it'll tell us why Harley had to go pick up Letecia on the night they believe Letecia dumped Gannon's body. Maybe they'll tell us why that their theory don't make sense. Now, the police say Letecia's statements don't make sense, but the police statements don't make sense either. Okay? This is going to cast reasonable doubt. This is going to cast doubt in the minds of a judge and jury that she committed this crime. Okay? Okay, investigators applied and were granted search warrants by the court to obtain historical call detail records. Devices utilized by Letecia and Harley. Determine the location of cellular telephone based on cell tower information. I just want to read why did Harley go pick up Letecia. That's why I want to read. Letecia had Gannon's body inside a Volkswagen SUV. What was the need of Harley leaving the house at night to go pick up Letecia? That's what I want to know. I submit to get Letecia to prevent law from business. They don't know. They speculate, and she disconnected the phone to prevent law enforcement from being able to determine her location. If you don't know about phones, you can still pick up a location even if the phone is off. If your cell phone is off, it's still generating power. They can still track it. And that's coming from a freaking law enforcement who said that in the movie. They stated that in the movies. They can still track the phone even if it's off. You don't necessarily. You got to take out the battery to keep the functions from operating. And no matter if you have your phone on or off, they can still track it. So that part is null and void. And once again, they can track your phone even if it's off. Okay? I'm trying to look for the part about Harley going to go pick up Letecia. Was unlocked by level of information. Some of Letecia's a lot to employer. Yeah. It's talking about the lie she made. The lie she made about her stepfather getting hit by a car so she can stay home with Gannon because Gannon was sick. And she told Al she was going to call out of work, so. Number 131. Additionally, there are messages that will otherwise tend to corroborate Letecia Stauch's statements about Gannon whereabouts on the afternoon January 27, 2020. Yeah, as long as you say it corroborates her story, I don't care what the rest says. As discussed in other portions of the affidavit, Letecia's story was false and misleading. They suspect it's false and misleading. They did not check with the they did not investigate with the construction company and ask them, did they see Letecia? Okay, so they don't know. They don't have video of the back door. Okay. The back door that opened 10 times in a short period of time. So, like, everything she tries to poke holes in, or every truth she tries to tell, they poke holes in with some nonsense theory. So they have as much nonsense speculation as she does, as anybody on the internet does. And this affidavit is full of speculation by the police department. None of it is to be found true. Only thing to be found true are blood stains in the carpet or on the wall. No blood stains in the car came back negative. Negative, if you read an affidavit. Information they lifted from the SUV came back. That's about it. Only thing not speculative is finding blood in the house and the information they lifted from the SUV. Her picking up Al. Harley leaving the house to go see Letecia. They did not investigate this Aguado person. They did not go to the construction company and investigate. They do not list it in the affidavit. They... Let's continue. For example, on January 28th, this is a day after. This is the day they say she dumped his body. So they said that she dumped his body after 8 p.m. on the 28th. This is 5:14 a.m. She had a conversation with Stephanie, the children's babysitter. Let's continue. Stephanie Sitter, outgoing. This happened after 3:30. What happened after 3:30? Firm 2, outgoing. We talked to him. He told him to be home at 6. Someone posted he wasn't at school. Either he had to go. This is just a conversation with the babysitter she had about Gannon supposed to be at a friend's house. We told him to go back. He was supposed to be at the doctor. Letecia made statements. Letecia made statements to investigators via direct text messages that consider an exploratory in nature related to the presence of blood in the basement. As seen below text message, I had talked with investigators over at Letecia Stauch residence on the 27th. On the 27th, they did search the house. The 28th, they didn't even search the house on the 28th. This is where they messed up in the affidavit. They give dates that they weren't supposed to be at the house searching. The only date they're supposed to be at the house searching is the 27th. The 29th, they had no reason to be there. The first reports of the crime lab was February 1st and February 2nd. When they claimed they searched the house on the 29th because Letecia came to the police station voluntarily. She gave a statement about being raped and whatnot. And they violated her rights. They did violate her rights. That's clear cut. They violated her rights. It's damn near kidnapping what they did. It's damn near kidnapping what the police department did to her. Damn near. There was no odor of smoke and no evidence of smoke. In fact, I want to know that the basement smelled like coconut. Letecia took her cell phone, denied her representative, and they tried to kidnap her on nothing. And this was just 2 days after she filed a report. Oh my gosh. Below, man, they fucked up. They messed up this case themselves. Let me go back up and read. Test measures that could consider from the nature of below. I have talked with veterans in West Side households and residents on 27, 28, and 29. There was no odor of smoke and no evidence of smoke. In fact, crime lab didn't get there till after the 29th, so I don't understand that bullshit. I'm pretty sure if I go back in my videos that I did, that I will see crime lab came after the 29th. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was after the 29th. Because again, we didn't get Letecia's interview till the 31st of January. We didn't know about Letecia until the 31st. Of January. So, okay. So far, they talk about no ballistics, no gunpowder, no nothing. They have not mentioned gunpowder. They have not mentioned finding a knife. They mentioned a practical board, a board that's a 2x4. And they recovered limited GPS location on Letecia's phones. Number 136 makes no sense. 136 is irrelevant. Okay, this is a summary, I guess. I'm talking about a job. It's talking about her looking for places in Florida, but it says nothing about her. Number 138 does not link her to dumping a body in Florida because she looked for an apartment in Florida. If you come across 138, do not leave a comment on my page talking about, oh, that's evidence she went to Florida because she searched for an apartment and a job in Florida. No. That's not evidence of anything. And they haven't talked about the sugar daddy yet. They ain't talked about the sugar daddy website yet. So I know she didn't meet him on sugar daddy website, as I thought. She met him after Gannon burnt the carpet, and she went looking for they were doing construction in the area, and she asked one of the construction workers could they fix the carpet, and she stupidly gave the security code to the garage, which might have been the security code to everything else in the house. Because she left the garage unlocked anyway. The garage door, she left it unlocked. The garage door leads to the basement where she claims she was raped at. Okay? Even though they say they don't see anybody coming in, it's still possible somebody came in through the back or wheresoever. So we're going to see how the defense builds this case around the claims of an intruder, rape, kidnap. Now, they have his body being found in Florida is a big help to their defense because they don't have one in Florida. And it's a good chance this Aguado person went to Florida. Listen, there's a lot of Hispanics. It's Hispanics everywhere. So we're going to see how this piece together. And I'm trying to piece together the defense myself. Further discussion. Also, direct question to Letecia's turn. Letecia here's the kids. That, so we already seen that. Oh, what did she Google? Find real military singles. That's why she said she may not have been happy with Al. Which is not an excuse to kill anybody. If she was looking to leave, again, they're saying she was looking at find real military spouses. So if she was looking to leave and not Al was looking to leave, she has no reason to want to kill Gannon. And once again, if she was looking to leave, she could have just left. She had no reason to kill Gannon. Because everybody's rumor is she killed Gannon because she was unhappy. Al wanted to leave her. Okay. It looks more like Letecia wanted to step out on Al. Okay. Parenting should be for 4 people, not 1. I'm all doing all the work for my stepkids and their mom doesn't help. This is the searches she made. Hold on. So just read down that list. If you aren't involved, this is the search. If you aren't involved in your kid's life, you are shitty. Google search. My husband's ex-wife does nothing for her kids. Dang. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me Valentine's Day cards. One day some people will wish they treated you differently. One day some people will wish they treated you differently. Why would my husband choose me over family? Why should my husband choose me over family? Find me a rich guy who wants me to take care of his kids. Find a guy who wants to take care of his kids and get paid. What? It's crappy some parents don't care for their... Why would you do a Google search on that? And it's crappy some parents will do a Google search on their kids about what? Parents, a lot of this is about landing. A lot of these Google searches are about landing. And they started before even Gannon went missing. Why would my husband choose family? Find a guy who wants to parents who put their kids before their parents or those who put their kids before their theirs. Okay, my son burnt the carpet. How do I fix it? Okay. That was on the 27th at 2:09 a.m. My son burnt the carpet. How do I fix it? Smoke effects will... Okay, in it. Smoke from fire effects. Colorado law for kids staying at home. School is out. Is it okay for my kid to stay at home? No, it's not. Son is sick, but I have to go to work. Well, give the excuse to your worker. Son is sick, can't stay home. Suede repair for sofa, a Paso Sheriff's Office number. A Paso Sheriff. Oh yeah, this one she called the police to report Gannon's missing. So at 6:54, she searched for the number. What is the process for our runaway child? Police steps for our runaway child. Police steps for our missing child. I can't read that one. Can Nintendo's Fritz? Can Nintendo find my Switch? Something about CarNet, Volkswagen. They were asking for our son's toothbrush, but said nothing is wrong. So on 128, they are asking for our son's toothbrush, but nothing is wrong. Okay. That was on 128, 4:19 p.m. Okay, Letecia's search activity on iPhone spanning 125 to 128. Covington search that delete from Letecia's phone. Look at this. Look at this. Investigators were also able to recover internet search history that was deleted from Letecia's phone. Well, nothing is deleted from your phone. Just remember that. And they can track your phone if it's off or on, people. Some of the other deleted search terms include the traveling plan. I can only search that the searchers were conducted project season Letecia's phone January 29. And they illegally seized her phone. They illegally try to detain her and illegally seize her phone. Include traveling plans, shopping, So far, Letecia's just going to do time for assaulting a police officer. That's all I'm seeing in this affidavit. This is all I'm seeing. Only thing she'll be found guilty of is maybe giving false information because she didn't report the rape and she didn't report the assault, rape, and intruder the first time. So false information and assault on the officer, that's like a year and a half. Find me a new husband. Which one was this? Okay, some more searches from her iPhone. Find me a new husband. I feel like I'm just a nanny, not a stepmom. Husband uses me to babysit his kids. There are many free money to move away with bad situation. My husband never posts about me, but does everything else. My husband only cleans up for the army, not me. I'm just a glorified babysitter. Find a new husband. Sent my husband intimate messages, and he ignores them. Make my husband want me more. I feel like my husband uses me to babysit kids. She felt very unwanted. And she was looking for a way to get out. We're not looking for a way to get out. She was looking for a new man. And that does not constitute killing Gannon. You don't have to kill Gannon to look for a new man. Okay? Or you don't have to kill Gannon because you felt unwanted by your husband. Okay? That's not how it goes. That's not how this crime goes. That's not how it goes.